Hello and welcome. This is a reimagining of the NelveskaTemple in Unreal 4. As you can see here, this is a description of the original NelveskaTemple from the 1997 Final Fantasy Tactics. Not much is known about the NelveskaTemple except that it is on a cursed island and between a canyon. This picture represents the Dragoon class. So the physics for this character are of the Dragoon class, which not only give a much higher jump, but also allow for maneuverability for the player to get around the level and explore more. This would be the second level after a brief combat level, so a brief tutorial. These are the Panther enemies. It would be fairly easy for the player to engage in and then defeat. The player can explore three main paths right from the beginning. However, if the player just wants to move on with the story, they can just go straight. So we'll come to the NelveskaTemple. In the distance is the first objective. Ramza is here to engage with some thieves that have made this place their hideout. So he's to remove the thieves. If the player wants to go straight up the front, it's very quick for the player to get wrapped up in the story. However, if the player wants to go a separate path, as you can see, the water is quite dirty, they can maneuver around the level so that they can choose a little bit of a sneakier path. If the player is injured and enters this place, this has a chance to give the poison status effect. So this may not be a great option later. However, that gives the player a chance to go ahead and engage the thieves right away, and they can get the surprise attack. Unlocking some treasures will give the player a weapon or armor or accessory that will help them along their journey. And this is the reimagined NelveskaTemple here. Over here is an image from the 1997 Final Fantasy Tactics. Originally it was a strategy turn-based game. This level is for an action RPG. So the level is much bigger and gives a much broader scope. However, I did keep with the original coloration and to get the overall look of the original game. However, this is all new. I built the entire level around it. So this is a small town to represent the people that once lived here. After Ramza completes his first objective of defeating the thieves and finding a small diary talking about a settlement that his father once was at long ago, his deceased father, Ramza will move ahead to the second objective being in the far corner. So again, if the player wants to explore further, there are many options and treasures they can explore. Can go by the lake, or here on the left, they can go in a much foggier, more suspicious area. The player wants to maneuver forward and just move on with the story, then the player can come across, get a little bit of some treasure before they leave. Hopefully a new weapon that might help things along. So as you can see in the distance, there's a wrecked ship, which helps signal to the player that this is a much newer settlement, although it is older. The Dragoon class allows for maneuverability that other classes might not be able to use this path. So different classes will give the players a different feel for the level. So as players come to this level, this part of the level, with a change in music, they will recognize that this is more of a fortress. And given the certain props, they're guarding against something that may appear from the fog. So as Ramza enters the place, he will engage with some knights. However, these knights will be at a low HP. They'll be about 10% of their normal amount. And white mages here will not be able to heal. It's only after a long time that their MP may grow, and they may have a chance to use one cure spell. So this will signal to the player that they may not need to engage with the people of this settlement, even though they could at first. And if Ramza comes to here and meets Caledon, this is where the boss battle will take place. He'll fight him here, jumping around. The Dragoon class will help for some maneuverability to help the player kind of get the jump on Caledon. Once the player gets him down to 10 HP or defeats him, Meliadul, a returning player from the first game, will run out and stop Ramza. She has now become a white mage from her previous Divine Knight class, and she will tell Ramza that these people are starving and that the undead rise every night to attack them. So Ramza will feel guilty and will help them in their quest to stop the undead. Much of this place is an older civilization that's more medieval in nature, the Final Fantasy Tactics game, representing the religion of that game and their symbol. This is once an ancient church, but now has been taken over and is now their only means of survival. So they're growing potatoes to survive. Because the undead attack, they have even blocked off their own gravesite. So they have guards stationed at the front of it, always being mindful and watching to see if their own undead should arise. None have arisen yet, but they remain watchful, and so they're kind of on the edge, and Ramza really can come here and kind of help them. So again, the Dragon class allows for the player to really maneuver around and give the kind of experience that they would like. So there's a lot to explore and really search, and this is the main story of the Reimagined NelveskaTemple.